This is Josh Olmsted. Welcome back to Northwest Disc Golf's coverage of Round 2 of the Zootown Open, presented by Inc. Realty Group. We're enjoying some great A-tier action here at the Blue Mountain Disc Golf Course outside of Missoula, Montana. And back with me again for the back nine is Tournament Director Brian Beardham. You ready for the back nine, Brian?
Let's do this.
Great. So heading into the back nine, Christian has a 7-stroke lead over Jordan Castro. 3 under for the round, putting together a good front nine. We'll see if he can keep it rolling or see if one of these guys can really jump up and challenge for the lead. As we start at hole 10, 567-foot par 3. This is the big top of the world hole. Brian, tell me a little bit about this hole.
Yeah, when you walk up to this hole, it's just one of those holes you can empty your whole bag on. Some people call it Cape Canaveral because it's just fun to blast off.
Yeah, that's some gorgeous scenery to throw into. And you can see down there the little yellow band right by the path. Is there any OB on the back of that hole?
There's no OB. You just really don't want to flip it over right. The wind does swirl in this bottom, so it's tough to get a good read. Most of us mere mortals just like to get to the shade there, but these guys can all reach the pin and get a birdie look, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see if any of these guys can put it close. Definitely seems like, if you turn it over in the wind, there's a long way this disc could go left or right. Justin comes up a little bit short there. Jordan taking the big hyzer flip. Just doesn't seem to get quite enough turn on that.
Yeah, all these guys are hoping to get a little closer than that.
Yeah. And Ben Squires, he's looking like he's turning that over pretty nice. Keeping it low, which is important on these big downhill holes.
Yeah!
Pretty excited about that, as he should be.
He's about 35 feet right, and looks like he's the only one in the group who's got a real birdie look. Everyone else is playing from about 90 feet or so. Good layups there for Justin and Jordan. And now we can see if Ben can capitalize on that great drive. Unfortunately, he's stuck between some trees.
Ooh.
Yeah. Just didn't look like he had a great line to make that putt. So it looks like everyone here is going to clean up their par. Steady pro golf. No one making any big mistakes here.
Yeah, in hole 10, this is just the start. The back nine on this course is really where the teeth are at. There's a par 5 and a couple par 4s that really test you, so you don't want to be giving up strokes here.
Yeah, no, the back nine is definitely an exciting set of disc golf holes. So, hole 10, no change. Still a 7-stroke lead for Christian as we move on to that par 5 you were mentioning. 728 feet, hole 11. This one is called Bogey Bay. Longest hole on the course, and one of the only holes that has a lot of OB. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the whole right side of the fairway is lined with OB. As you go up the hill towards the basket, it veers left of that tree, and players have the option of going around that tree to the right for the possible eagle 3, or laying up for their birdie or par by going left of that tree. They're really just trying to set themselves up here out in the open. Just short of those 2 trees is where the OB is, and then it follows that rock line around to the left of the tree.
Yeah, and that OB really cuts a long way in left. It's hard to see from the tee because the flags are sort of in there with the long grass, but it's pretty easy if you don't really commit to that hyzer line. It's really easy to end up OB off the tee here.
Yeah, and you can go, they can throw it 700 feet here, but, the last 250 of that are OB, so it doesn't really help them much.
Ben there, looks like he got caught up in those early trees, but looks like he snuck through. The group seemed to be happy with that one. Ooh, but unfortunately, turned that one over, and there you can see he's out of bounds. Yeah, right up when you get up to that large tree you can see in the middle, it forms a really small, maybe 40-foot wide fairway gap. But you can see there Jordan taking the risky line, going over the right, and gets all the way to the green. Yeah, this is a really cool risk-reward shot. Really well-designed golf hole. Really tempts these guys to go for it, but if you don't make this OB green, you can see the flags there. They go about 35 feet from the pin. If you don't make that green, you're coming all the way back and taking your fourth. As looks like Christian's going to do there.
And that's too bad. This is actually, the OB layout on this hole is actually his idea from several years ago when he was co-tournament director.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So, unfortunately, Christian's getting bitten by his own mistake there. And that's a good upshot. Just setting himself up. And so here is Christian's fourth. And that's a good shot there. That's someone who's played this hole a few times.
Yep.
Oh, and that was for his eagle putt. And that's Ben after that OB on the second shot. He takes a par. Good recovery by Ben. And that is a beautiful 3 for Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's taken a stroke on most of the field there. It's definitely, pretty easy par 5, but 3 is definitely an exceptional score.
Yeah, exactly. If you have a big arm, it is a relatively easy par 5, but there's a lot of ways to mess that up too. So you still got to perform.
Yep. So Christian taps out his 5, limits the damage, which is important here. But Jordan is going to get 2 strokes on him, moving him a little bit closer to the lead. So now the lead shrinks to 5 strokes as Jordan gets to 4 under for the round. And Justin also takes a nice 3 there. So after that giant hole, we move to a much shorter hole, 252-foot par 3, hole 12. This is a pretty straightforward hyzer to another one of those sloping greens. Just the one major tree in your way, but that can often be the challenge when it's just that one obstacle staring you in the face.
Yeah, sometimes when there's only one obstacle, it almost makes it harder.
Yeah, that's how it feels for me. Just acts like a magnet. As you can see, Jordan is putting himself right by the base there. Yeah, it looks like the players got a little bit of a break with that longer grass. I imagine, if you got a really hot few weeks in the summer, that can get a lot kind of more dried out.
Yeah, it becomes a lot faster green for sure. For many years, we played this hole as an island green, and we decided that was just too much of a challenge for this hole because that one tree does exactly what it should do, so we didn't need to do that.
Yeah, no, I like, sort of the artificial island holes, but, I really also respect a course like this where you don't really need a lot of OB to challenge the players. It's only really present on a couple holes, and just rely on, the natural challenges that the course has to offer. And that's a great birdie by Ben there.
Yeah, and we're really blessed with a lot of beautiful scenery here to take advantage of to play disc golf in.
Yeah, no, it feels like every hole, you can take a picture and make it your computer background. Really beautiful part of the country to play in. So it looks like Christian and Ben are going to take the 2 birdies here. Everyone else is going to grab a par. So Christian pushes his lead back out to 6 strokes, gets to -4 for the round. And Ben trying to get his round kind of moving here. He moves to 2 under par. As we move on to hole 13, 480-foot par 3. This is another big downhill shot, another big hyzer bomb. Definitely a hole that would play to the locals, as it's really hard to line up exactly where you need the disc to land. Tell me a little bit about this hole, Brian.
Yeah, so it's hard to see on camera, but there's actually 3 trees off the tee pad that form the rear sight of a gun sight. So this hole is called gun sight for that reason. And basically you're just trying to put a shot out over the center of the gun sight and let it fade back into the basket down in the bottom of the hill there. And the basket is pretty protected as well in a pocket of trees, so even if you get the distance right, it's still hard to get on the dance floor.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a challenging shot, but definitely a fun one to throw. You know, really give your disc a chance to sail. And you can see down there, there's a spotter. I imagine he had to have quite a few out there. Tell me a little bit about
the 3 on this hole alone.
Yeah, I know, and I know that this is a tournament that's been around for a long time, and there's a lot of local support. Can you tell me a little bit about the sort of clubs and groups that make this happen?
Yeah, our local club is the Garden City Flyers. We've been around since 2005, and we're one of probably the most active club in Montana, or one of the most active clubs in Montana. We run half a dozen or even up to 10 tournaments a year, and across western Montana, not just in Missoula. So yeah, we're a big force in Montana, and we're proud of the courses that we have, and we're happy to have you here showing them off for us.
Yeah, no, it's good to be here. One of the things I've always known about the Montana disc golf scene is, for a state that doesn't have a ton of people and for a relatively small disc golf scene,
Great
had
birdie
to
putt.
Stop there for that huge birdie putt. Yeah, that's one of the longest putts we've seen this round, so we're going to have to catch that again on replay. Yeah, it's beautiful. Strong side chains.
That's why he's a defending champion right there.
Yep. See if he can use that to catch fire. Yeah, I was going to say, for being a relatively small disc golf community, there's a really passionate group of people who make a lot of events and events happen and a lot of new courses happen. I know Missoula alone has about 6 or 7 different courses, even though, population of maybe, 70,000 people?
Yeah, something like that. Pretty close to that, yep. And they vary in terrain from Blue Mountain here, the mountain golf, to ski hill golf, to flat and in the trees, kind of park-like golf. So we're pretty lucky to have the whole variety of courses.
So yeah, Ben takes the lone birdie there. Excellent work, getting to 3 under. Everyone else takes pars as we move on to hole 14, 345-foot par 3. This is more of a traditional forest golf hole. Nice defined hyzer line, and you need a good accurate shot to be rewarded with a birdie look. I really like kind of these accurate holes like this after a lot of the big wide shots.
Yep, test everything you got.
Yep, good courses will do that.
This hole for many years was known as the heart hole. Before baskets were put in, there was a steel heart hanging from a tree as the target.
Nice, sort of like the heart of the forest.
Exactly. Yep.
Justin here looks like he's going a little bit wide with that hyzer. See if he can come back in.
Might have got the back door there.
Yeah, looks like he's got a edge of the circle putt from the trees.
Local route wasn't there for him that time.
Yeah, not quite. So here's Ben with a long upshot.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it looks like he gave that about a 250-foot run for birdie. And Jordan's struggling on this relatively short hole. And that's a interesting looking stance. Good job by Mccoy to get it up there. As looks like Jordan's just going to lay up, take his medicine, walk away with a 4. And Christian here has got an interesting look.
Oh.
He has had about 5 or 6 go off the basket today. I imagine he's probably saying, why didn't they all go in like they did in round 1?
There's a good birdie.
Yeah, Justin, he's really starting to come alive on this back 9. Couple of big putts now. Definitely
he came
looking
all the
to
way
make
from
a
South
move.
Dakota. He's not going to be denied.
Absolutely. A lot of these guys traveling out to this tournament. Ben wraps up a nice par putt there. And Mccoy taps out his par. And Jordan drops in a 4. So Justin taking the big deuce there to move into a tie for third with McCoy at -9. Christian still holding on to that big lead, back to 7 strokes now. As we move on to hole 15, 542-foot par 4. First par 4 of the course, actually. Another fun line through the forest here. First shot is sort of a placement shot, and the players are just trying to get a clean line to that middle of this grove before the hole gets really tight in the last 175 feet or so.
And that's just about in the center of the gap there.
There we go. That's a good looking throw.
Yeah, it's a beautiful shot by Ben there. Nice little turnover. And yeah, it's sort of hard to see here from the tee what that sort of back half of the hole looks like, but you know, these players aren't really going to try to cut off too much because it's really easy to get stuck in the woods here and turn this into a much harder par 4.
Yeah, anything off to left here, and you're pretty lucky to get out of here with a 5.
Oh, that's a great shot by Jordan.
That's perfect.
So here you can see, ooh, yeah, it's a tight tunnel going down that. Christian actually kind of got lucky to stick there in the middle, didn't get kicked too far left or right.
Oh boy. Great
Wow,
shot
that's a
by
beautiful
Justin.
shot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, looks like a good upshot by Ben. Comes up about 30 feet short.
Yeah. Go.
Wow, and McCoy showing the local knowledge there. That's a great turnover forehand.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely, you know, for being a fairly short par 4, it seems like probably not too many birdies on this hole.
Yeah, I think it was less than 20% of the field got a birdie on this. This is one of only 2 temporary baskets. Most of the course that we play for the tournament is the same as the normal layout, but this is an alternate basket here.
So is it harder than the normal position?
Yeah, it's a good throw, if not maybe a throw and a half harder than the normal position. The normal position was just past where they all laid up to.
Okay, so like a long par 3.
Yeah, gettable long par 3.
I'm fine for it.
So 3 birdies there. Jordan, McCoy, and Justin all getting a stroke on the leader. And the lead is back to 6 strokes. As we move on to another par 4, hole 16. This is 516 feet. But this is a tricky hole. This is definitely not an easy par 4. Tell me a little bit about this hole.
Yeah, we call this one Mirkwood from the Tolkien books, Lord of the Rings. There's orcs hiding behind the trees on this hole, so yeah, you really just want to keep it on the trail there. Some people just lay up to the corner. Some people try and get around that corner. The farther you go around that corner, the more likely you are to slide into the ravine, and you're just taking your chances with a good lie or a bad lie there.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of trees to kick off, but at the same time, if you peer that gap, you can definitely have a good short upshot for birdie.
Yeah, or even eagle, or birdie. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is like a big stroke separator because you can see birdies and bogeys really just depending on how you get the kicks off the trees. And there's a good example. He'll have an eagle deuce putt.
Yeah, and you really don't want to be up on that hillside like that. It's really thick up there.
Boom.
And like I say, some people just like to lay up to the corner right there, and another rock shot down to the basket.
Yeah, no, looks like a good plan, and gets a little tree kick, but he still has a solid putt there. And Justin taking a nice line. That's a really nice upshot. He's just about 20 feet from the pin.
And again, that pin is on a pretty good slope. It's near the bottom of the slope, but still it comes into play on this upshot especially.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a a fun hole to really, you know, test your upshot game, test your short game. Oh, Jordan just missing strong side. Probably thought that might catch just enough chains to get in. And Christian taps out his 4. And that's a nice birdie there for Justin. He's really catching fire on this back 9.
Yeah, he's having a real good back 9.
3 or 4 under now on the back. Oh, wow. And yeah, Jordan, second time today, you know, really close drive and 3-putt from about 30 or 40 feet. Fortunately, he still gets a 4, but he's probably hitting himself to not grab some strokes on the card there.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate to have a drive like that and to walk away with a 4.
Yeah, especially when both of those putts hit chains. So Mccoy, Justin, and Ben all take birdies, and yeah, Justin and Mccoy now have a 5 under for the round, putting together a solid round 2. As we move on to hole 17, 364-foot par 3. This is what's known as the Pebble Beach pin position. It's way out there on a little peninsula, and it's another really fun shot if you can lace your drive down this tunnel. I kind of like, you know, these last 5 holes. After a lot of fairly open mountain golf, you see 5 nice tight holes to finish.
Yeah, and this one brings the elevation into play too, with a severe drop off on the left and deep and also right of the basket. So you really got to be precise.
Yeah, I know. This is definitely seems like one of the harder par 3s on the course, and it's a really treacherous pin position to try to park. You can see Ben hoping for some luck and just hoping it's still near the pin.
Yeah, they can really go a long ways off that hill behind it.
See what Christian can do here. And it looks like he turned his over a little early. He's chuckling, probably hit an early tree, as he's got a good ways to go. Ooh, but that's a beautiful upshot.
Yeah.
Yeah, good 180-foot putter upshot can save you from a lot of bad drives. As you can see there, McCoy unfortunately slides down the hill.
Yeah, and you can see how steep this is behind the basket.
Oh, yeah, and Ben a little bit high on his birdie run. We'll see if Justin can sink another big putt here.
Oh,
He almost makes it. He knows he's on fire with the putter, and he really wanted to see that one go in. Wow, they're all hitting a lot of basket this round.
yeah, I think maybe next year we'll cut the baskets about 2 inches shorter.
Nice 3 there for Christian, and
I didn't expect that.
yeah, all these guys are a little unhappy with this basket, as just doesn't want to seem to let him in for that birdie. And McCoy will take his 4. Everyone else takes a 3. So no real changes on the leaderboard as we head into the final hole. Yeah, definitely these guys want to set themselves up in round 2, but there's still a lot of golf left to be played. I know there's 5 spots open for that final 8, so a lot of pressure to really try to get in that last grouping.
Yeah, and I think there was a pretty good group right behind these guys pushing them too. So.
Yeah, no, really, there's about 15. Seems like about 15 guys who have a good shot to win this tournament. It's definitely a very deep field of pros. A lot of guys 990 rated and up.
Couple great drives there.
Yeah. Yeah, this is another nice tight finishing hole. 336-foot par 3. There is a little OB danger on the left beyond the fence line. So it makes the forehand a little bit more attractive here with that right side finish.
Just like that.
Wow. Yeah, that's a great shot for Christian. He's parked. Couple good drives here. We'll see if McCoy can join the group. Looks like a sort of a turnover mid-range shot there. Ooh, but he hits that tree.
Yeah, and that might
Jordan
even
here.
been an AVR for McCoy there. He likes to throw AVRs a long ways.
Yeah, no, he's definitely got a lot of power. If you can put a putter over 300, you've got some arm speed you're working with. And that's a good upshot from McCoy. Just put himself under the basket. So, oh, that's Jordan for his par. Slips out weak side. So, an unfortunate day on the greens for Jordan. He's got a great throw. You know he'll be coming in round 3, pushing to get up to the lead. And Christian will take a birdie to end the round. And he's going to take a pretty good lead into round 3. Although, as you mentioned, I know that some of the guys up on the chase card are going to be pushing. And Justin with a drop-in birdie to finish. Great back nine for Justin. He finishes the round with a 6 under, best on the group, as Christian's lead is 6 strokes now over Justin, so he gets into second place there. Everyone else is at 10 under as we move on to round 3. Hope you'll join us for round 3 coverage. And thanks for watching the Northwest Disc Golf's coverage of the Zootown Open.
Yeah, we'll see you in round 3.